At Antelope Park in central Zimbabwe, the future of the lion conservation program rests with 7 female lions. Led by alpha female Ashanti, they've lived together for 2 years and have bonded well.
The final moment has arrived that these lions are going to be released into what is known as the Ngamo release site, which is just over here on my left.
If they prove they can survive on their own, in a week's time they'll be joined by 8-year-old male Milo in the hope they'll breed.
The first step is to let these lions through into a passageway adjacent to the site itself, and then the release can happen. Come on, you've never been out here before. Come on.
David's final task is to call the pride into a holding pen that opens onto the girls' new territory.
Who's first? Kenge, come on. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7 is coming through. Come on, Narnia. You're always last. Come on.
But skittish Narnia isn't too sure.
Narnia, come on, please. There's always one lion that doesn't want to move. Today, that lion is Narnia. Come on.
Finally, David manages to coax her through.
This is it. The lion's now in the holding enclosure, the final passageway before the release gate. In a few minutes' time, this gang is going to get released.
The event begins on time.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honourable Minister of the Environment and Natural Resources.
Project founder Andrew Connolly has reached a turning point after 20 years of dedicated work.
40 years ago, back in 1970, there was 230,000 lions across the continent of Africa. That number today has decreased to possibly as low as 16,000 with some estimates. So the lions of Africa are dying, and we believe that we are able to do something about it.
The final words are left to Zimbabwe's Minister of Environment and Natural Resources, Francis Nyema.
As man, we want to conquer everything. But we lost something in the process. We lost our relationship with wilderness. It's only when man walks together with wilderness, with wildlife, that he fulfills himself as a person. It is time for us to repair the damage. So today, what you have done goes beyond Zimbabwe. It teaches the rest of the world that for this planet to be complete, for us to reach fulfillment, we must live in harmony with nature.
Come on.
Can we clap, please?
Just one short step for the Ngamo pride, and they'll have to fend for themselves without human intervention.
Come on. Come on.
First through the gate is 5-year-old Fire, with whom David shares a special bond.
Fire was first.
Fire was first.
My baby was first. I'm very, very happy to say that Fire, the one that I raised, was the first out of the gate. I can't believe it.
As the pride move out, only the coming weeks will tell whether they have what it takes to survive.
How this group is going to act together is an unknown. Fire always concerns me, just because she's a bit of a stroppy female. For now, my baby girl is back where she's supposed to be.
At the start of their journey back to the wild are a group of younger lions. These 3 cubs are unrelated and don't have a strong natural bond, so bushwalks are important to help them form an alliance. Orange-furred Moyo has been shy and cautious around humans. His pride mates Carly and Mika are far more confident. In order for the program to work, Moyo must see humans as part of the pride.
Hey, my boy.
David wants to see if his confidence has grown.
I'm really pleased that just recently he's been showing a huge amount of progress. Now, he's just comfortable. He's still not going to come up and sit right next to me, but you can see certain behaviours that he's happy to do in our company, such as just grooming himself. That's actually quite a big step. because it means that he's feeling relaxed and he's able to concentrate on, the daily tasks of a lion, however small they may be. And just the last couple of days, he's made his first kill of a monitor lizard. And it's about the right age when he should be doing that kind of thing. So it's really good to hear that, and good to know that, these daily walks, but it's all building up in his mind, helping him to learn about his environment, start to interact with it, and of course now make his first kill. Within this group, we actually do have the complete opposite end of the spectrum in Mika. Her mother rejected her, and she was raised by a human from literally day one. Therefore, she finds it a little difficult to actually step back from the relationship with us. But, already she's understood the limits of the behaviours that she's allowed, and she's also starting to really interact with her environment. And again, that's what it's about. Carly here is the perfect blend of the two, aren't you? Yes. She'll come up for a bit of greeting, and then she'll go off and do her own thing. Good boy, Moyo.
Each of the cubs has a distinct personality that determines their place in the group.
What we've got here is actually a lot of dominance behaviour going on. Yes, it's playful, but there is more to it than that. The boxing, trying to get slightly higher than the other one, trying to push them down, that's designed to try and get a rise out of the other lion, and when they do, you slap them down. Now, what we can see is that Mika's doing a lot of this. She's testing Carly, and Carly's losing out.
Soon, Moyo joins the fight, and poor Carly must do her best to defend herself.
Moyo is obviously the biggest, the most dominant. He's a male. But it looks, based on this, Mika comes second, Carly's at the bottom. Mika's looking for the full sign of submission, but she's not giving Carly much of a chance to actually show it. The submission is when Carly will sit back with her head lowered and her ears back. Generally, their eyes flicker a lot as well. And that is what Mika's going for.
It's a painful lesson for Carly. Even as she tries to submit, her pride mates won't let up.
This is play. It's a particularly vicious-looking type of play, but it's an important part to life as a lion. It helps them to understand their place in the social world of lions, to work out between them who's dominant, who's least dominant, and that will follow through all their lives.
Carly will either have to toughen up or get used to life at the bottom of this pride's pecking order. After 2 years of preparation, 7 female lions called the Ngamo Pride have been released into their semi-wild enclosure. At first light, David Youlden is keen to check on the pride's progress.
I've just come into the site just to see whether they've started to explore, just make sure that they're okay. But we've just come in at the southwestern gate. I've had a check on the telemetry and can't hear anything. I mean, right now they could be anywhere. They could have split up, they could be as a group, they could have killed something already. There's just no way of knowing. So we'll find them and see what they're up to.
The enclosure is vast, and the lions aren't close enough for David to receive a signal from their radio collars. So the search is on.
Stop here a second.
David soon picks up Athena's signal, but there's a problem.
The signal I get from that direction is the same strength as the signal I get from exactly the opposite direction. VHF just can't deal when you get into very close proximity. And that's when you have to start thinking about using eyesight.
Then he spots a lone lion.
We found Athena and she immediately got up and walked off. And I can see that she's stalking through this long grass. Now, I know that there are some impala down here. That's the alarm calls of zebra. And she's doing a full, proper stalk. She's using this open road area along the fence line to move round.
Athena uses the tall grass for cover. The zebra's alarm calls mean the game are alert to danger. And she's soon spotted.
It's bright daylight. She had to try and get across open grassland where these zebra were going to see her. The impala certainly did. So it's unsuccessful today, and it's going to take these lions a little time to, get back up to speed. But we haven't found the other 6 yet. So we'll leave Athena be for the moment and see if we can find the others. They could be anywhere.
In the wild, female lions will split from their pride for days at a time, and David's unconcerned by the discovery of this lone female. Now he's keen to find the others. With long grass, hills, and trees for cover, they're hard to locate. Then David finds a sign of lion activity.
We've just found some very small parts, the remains of what looks like a wildebeest. There are drag marks going into this grassy area. That's Kwali, and she has a wildebeest to kill. Good girl. This is great news. I mean, Kwali was always an exceptional hunter, and yeah, she's already killed on the first night a wildebeest. Now, it's a juvenile wildebeest, and by the looks of it, she probably only killed it maybe a couple of hours ago at most. And so far, she's eaten all of the insides. But I suspect that she'll now stay within this area and just keep coming back and feeding on this. And what it shows is that even though the lions have gone through the pre-release training, and because we don't have enough funds to be able to build sites like this at the speed we need to, some of the lions have had to stay in captivity for longer than we'd hoped. But what Kwali is showing is that what they've learnt during those first stages, where we can take them out on walks and night encounters, is retained. And the evidence is right there.
David's pre-release training program has paid off perfectly, but finding a second lion alone could be cause for concern.
We do have to consider whether Kwali has fully integrated with the rest of the pride. Now, she's been with them in the holding enclosure a very long time, certainly enough to bond, but this is different circumstances. Has Kwali integrated into this group? Our pride is currently split in 3 locations, and it's going to take time to understand the dynamic within this group in this site.
David will return to search for the rest of the pride when they become more active at dusk. Day to day, David has to divide his time between many lions. He's at the Nursery Camp, where the youngest cubs in the program are about to face a new challenge.
We're going to take these 3 young cubs, Chundu, Chisa and Chobi, out for a bit of a walk. They are very young. They are not going to go very far at all. In fact, they might not even make it out the gate. But as an incentive, we're going to delay their feeding just a little and then feed them outside. The idea that they can start to feel a bit more comfortable about being out of their enclosure. Hey, little one. Wow. Wow. Who's coming first? That's it. Come on.
At 11 weeks old, it's the first time the cubs have been outside the enclosure.
Chobi here got a bit scared. This is the female. She's clearly the most nervous of the three. And she's lost sight of her two brothers. So she's just calling at the moment just so they can team up. It helps if they answer back, but they haven't done. But as you can see them now. We don't know what they're saying. We don't fully understand each of the calls, but they do respond to us making that same kind of little sound. Really, it's just about making a noise so that they know where we are, and generally they'll come towards us. But at the moment, they're doing really well.
As a dominant member of the pride, David gives the cubs the confidence to explore.
They're not usually going to come out onto this open area. They'll stick along the periphery of the scrub because they just feel a bit more confident. But each time they come out here, they'll get a bit bolder until maybe in a month or so, we'll actually be able to get them maybe even 100 metres, which will be quite an achievement. For now, it's just a chance to get out here and listen to the birds and smell. There's various dung lying around. Just really start that experience for them.
One cub is already emerging as a leader.
In this case, it looks as though Chundu is very, very much the bold one. He's going to be the leader of this group, and the other two are going to follow. They both seem quite skittish, particularly the female, but all three of them are doing really, really well. Come on.
At this young age, the first walk is soon over. The cubs have earned a welcome feed.
It's going to feed them out here just so they can start to associate the outside with, you know, something good, not too scary. Hey, Chundu. Good boy. These three have done really, really well today. We've brought them out here and they've actually just been poodling around, playing with sticks and sniffing, just exploring. And they seem reasonably confident. So I think over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll actually be able to get them out into the bush proper, because they seem to be really enjoying it out here.
For the tiny cubs, the first hurdle on the road to a life in the bush is successfully crossed. That evening, David returns to the Ngama release site. He's had news that the 5 lions he was looking for this morning have been located close to the perimeter fence, and that Athena and Kwali are not with them.
This is Narnia, but I'm getting full signal from the other females that we didn't find this morning. So they are all here. Now, I actually do know that earlier on today, they killed a juvenile zebra, which is, again, fantastic news. But what I want to do is just have a look at these girls, maybe have a look and see how much of the carcass they've eaten, so we can gauge when they're most likely to hunt again. Oh, no, there we go. They're on the kill right in front of us.
The lions have made a phenomenal start to their independent lives.
Our 5 girls have a zebra kill. At the moment, Kenge is the only one that's finishing off what is left of this thing. Nala's nearby, and Ashanti, Narnia and Fire have decided to leave. Not quite sure where they're going. The chances are they're now going to go find water, but they actually have quite a long way to go at the moment to the nearest waterhole. And this is now Nala, who is the lowest within the pecking order. So I think Nala will probably stay on this kill for a little longer, just get the last pickings and then catch up with them later. Kenge is already coming through the grass behind us and starting to head in the same direction as the other girls. And it is just amazing to see how quickly, when Kenge walked away from us, that she disappears. Within 20 metres, she was gone, which is amazing. I really hope that that gives them a sense of the freedom that we want them to have. We've seen 2 successful kills today, both small. You know, the amount of meat is not going to sustain the lions long. They will have to hunt again in the next couple of days. So we'll have to see how that goes. Are they going to try and go for wildebeest? Are they going to try and go for zebra? We'll have to wait and see. But also we'll have to find out whether the pride comes back together. Last thing I saw of Ashanti Fire and Narnia is they were heading off into the sunset and left Kenge and Nala behind. And here, Kwali's on her own. We know Athena's on her own. They've broken up to explore. We'll see, do they come back together again? But I'm really, really, really happy to see that they're successfully hunting in this site.
It's the end of a memorable day. But with the lions split into 3 groups, the future of the pride remains uncertain.